Hey, hey,
Here we
hey.
go.
Hey,
Another week for shits and giggles.
hey,
How you
Giggles.
doing?
But you know why we're here. We're here for my therapeutic purposes, not for your entertainment. But if you so happen to be entertained by this, then it's a win-win for everyone. And to anyone I have not yet offended, please be patient. I'll get to you shortly. Let's get into it.
Done. So let's chopping it up this year. How you doing this week?
I think I should ask you that first. We'll get to me after. How are you?
Whoa, what a deflect. Deflect. All right, so I'll bounce that. I'll take that. I'm catching it. Um, in the spirit of baseball, welcome back, Blue Jays. Hey! I got my Blue Jays hat on, representing the Toronto Blue Jays. Are they World Series bound this year? I highly doubt it, but I'm still optimistic. My week was pretty good. Don't look at me all sideways. I'm a very realistic individual. World Series isn't on the agenda unless they do something. I don't know. I just don't see it.
The season just started yesterday.
No, but I generally talk about what the team looks like. The team doesn't look like they don't look like they're gonna
I
do
get
all that.
you.
We'll see. Anyways, I was
Okay.
talking about more
Yeah.
since you politely deflected and sent it my way. So we're talking about Clay,
Yes.
right? So let me finish.
Yeah.
Um, so my week's been pretty good. What can I say? Same old, same old. Nothing really major on the go. No, really, it's been good. I can't really complain. I'm just waiting for spring to get here. I want to start playing softball again. As you know, avid softball player. I love running my team. Yeah, anyways, but back to you. How's your week been?
I'm looking forward to you running the team again. You do a great job. You do a great job, and you put in a lot of sacrifice, and we do appreciate you. So
Thank
we
you.
definitely appreciate you because if you don't do it, nobody else will, right? And you put a lot. You care, like you put a lot of passion into that. So and this season it paid off. This last season it paid off. So we're ready to come back and defend that championship. No, I wasn't deflecting again. I'm good. I'm just tired. It's been a long week. It's been a long week between like I got this goof harassing me. Work was stressful. Work was okay. It was good. It was fun, but I was on the road a lot. I was on the road a lot, so I'm tired. Tired. So I got a lot of rest today. Today was a quiet day, so I'm grateful for that. And I'm going for a drive in the country tomorrow, so I'm really looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to Campbellford.
A
It's definitely
drive in the country.
great. I love Campbellford, Ontario, a nice little small town northeast of Toronto, not too far. It's just north of Brighton, north of Brighton. So
Okay, I know where I've been to Brighton before. Okay, cool. All
get a
right.
chance to go there, check it out. Very nice town, great people, cute, quiet, and beautiful. It is beautiful. It's on the Trent River. The Trent River splits the town in half. So it's really good. So yeah, that's what's up.
All right. You know what? I'm just looking at my phone here. You sent me a message. Jeez. You really want me to say this 3 times?
Read that 3 times.
Okay. All right. I'm just saying right now, if I sound stupid, it's what my partner just sent me here. So I'll read it as it's worded. How many dudes did Diddy? How many dudes did Diddy diddle if Diddy did diddle dudes? How many dudes did Diddy diddle if Diddy diddle dudes? What the heck, man? This made me sound real dumb, right? This is
Read,
almost as
read.
listen. This is almost as bad as when I say that joke with the man where the guy made the guy bend over and he goes, "Are you in yet?" Right? He kept. It's almost as bad as that. But anyways, it's all good. But I guess in light of the whole Diddy raid and everything else that's been going on, Jesus, that's it's next level.
It's been going on for a long time, and we tried to
Yeah.
stay away from this topic. We really tried to stay away from this topic because we really didn't want to open this can of worms. Because everybody's talking about it anyway. So, I mean, can you really stay away at this point? Like it's gone. I knew it was coming to this. I knew it was coming to this because remember I told you when the first lawsuit came out, the way that it was worded, the one that the Cassie lawsuit, the way that it was worded, it was very carefully worded to describe specific crimes in different states, which triggers federal, which triggers RICO. It sounds like a lot of trafficking. That triggers RICO right away. RICO, federal, done. He's done. He's done.
Yeah,
They have
it's
to continue
that
the investigation before he can. Everybody's like, oh, he hasn't been arrested yet. Well, they have to continue their investigation.
100%. Hey, but you know what? This makes 50 looks like I don't know if I want to use the word whistleblower or a guy that foresaw things and said, "Hey, I'm gonna start talking about this man." And he's been putting him out there since 2010. You know, saying this is not the guy.
I feel like it was before that. I heard like it was like 2006.
Well, maybe, but when it became for me, when it became prevalent, I know it was back in 2010. He was out there on a regular. That's when he did the whole Breakfast Club thing, and he came out and said, "What kind of dude tells the next man he wants to take him shopping?" You know, when you're in the hood, you go up to a new girl and you say, "I want to take her shopping," and he's like, "I don't know if I should punch this fool." Anyways, without getting into all the details, it's it's crazy. Anyways, yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, I want to ask your question, ask your opinion of something. Like, would you call a grown man daddy? You don't even call your own dad daddy.
You know, I call my dad by his first name, but that's only because the relationship's different. I didn't really grow up with him in that sense. I knew who he was. He's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. I just don't call him dad. I call him by his first name. It's like a Homer and Bart Simpson type of thing. Hey Homer.
I call my dad by his first name too, so baby.
You still call him dad sometimes too. You call him dad when you're trying to be dainty. So don't give me that. I've seen you call your dad. So don't give me that. I've been around long enough to see that shit. I'm calling you out.
Okay, well, I refer to him by his name
Yes, you do.
most of the time. Like, I don't say
But it is creepy to watch any grown adult call another grown adult daddy. I've always had an issue with that when even if a girl decides to go, "Hey papi," I'm like, "I'm not Spanish. No disrespect to Latinos, but don't call me papi or
I'm actually
daddy."
for that shit, but the dude has.
I'm not really down with that. My own daughter doesn't call me, that. So I'm like, you know what? It's all good. But whatever. Like it's even more creepy when you have a dude calling another dude daddy.
Yeah, yes, yeah, and it's happened. It's happened on multiple occasions. But people are pulling receipts. Receipts are coming from all over the place. People are digging up some shit, right? Even songs where they're saying a song that Meek Mill's put out where he makes reference to being with Diddy in the song, right? So, and then there's that audio, very
Oh
disturbing
God.
audio.
Listen, I don't want to hear it again. That's all I'll tell you.
Yeah, but
I don't want to.
the thing is, you can't unhear it. You've already heard it. You can't unhear it. That's one of those things that you can't like. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it,
Yeah. It's definitely nerving. It's definitely something that I hope. I don't know. I don't care. It's just
it,
it's not something that you want to listen to on a regular basis. But yeah, it's definitely different.
yeah,
Definitely different. Right?
definitely does. But I mean, with the whole situation, I feel like a lot more people are going to come down. And I read somewhere that I read a comment on a post. I think it might
Yep.
have been. I read a comment on a post that said something to the effect of, "Don't be surprised if he ends up, you know, because he's not just it's not just the feds he has to worry about. It's those higher ups that he started with. You know what I mean? The elites that are going to be wanting to keep him quiet too. So he's fine. He's fine.
And it also kind of brings me to my side note. Money should never be your motivating factor as to where you need or want to go. A
I
lot
can't
of
be
this, a lot
sport. I
of this,
can't
a
be
lot of
sport.
this stems from wanting fame. And I'm not knocking anybody or dissing anybody. So people
Mhm.
out there that are artists, entertainers, you're doing your thing. I am not knocking anybody's hustle, but please do not let money drive you to do things that you don't feel morally comfortable doing.
Don't sell your soul. But a lot of people that's the thing that we always talk about. Some people do not have morals. Some people don't have standards. Some people don't have principles. Some people don't have values. And it's worse nowadays because those things are not being taught to children by their parents. And they're definitely not being taught in school.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a big problem with what's going on with the world. Look at these little young girls and little boys. These boys are getting into all kinds of shit at such a much earlier age than they used to, and it's so prevalent. It is so prevalent now, right? You got more little idiot gangsters or wannabe gangsters than you do good boys. It's crazy, right? And then these little like fast ass little girls that have no respect for themselves. It's I can't. It's getting worse. It's just getting worse, right?
It is.
Like
It's
it
legit
all
getting a lot worse.
morals, principles, values, and standards, right?
Well,
It
the
always
thing is, if you don't instill in your children your morals and values, somebody else will, right? You're not going to be the only influence in your child's life. As I always say, you got to be the loudest and most vocal one in their lives in order to make sure there's change, positive
yes,
change, right?
yes, yes.
So, with all that being said, yes, please, people, be wise, do the right
Always.
thing, and don't sell yourself out. Don't sell yourself short for instant gain or instant financial, whatever it is, because everything comes around, right?
Everything,
I,
everything has a price. Everything has a price, man. And you
whether
think it's you're getting what you don't know what you're getting on the back end of that. So
So I like to always say this, whether you're religious or not, think of life as accounting. Whatever you do on one side, it's got to be balanced on the other side. If you do good, it usually follows you back. If you do bad, it follows you back. But it's always got to balance out one way or another. So I see a lot of people like, well, I don't believe in God. I don't. Okay, fine. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in this. I believe in the Lord. Not knocking him. Not saying anything else. I'm just putting this out there for everybody, in case whatever your beliefs is. There's always going to be balance. So whatever you put out, you will reap ultimately. See, and I'll tie it back to Diddy. Look at all the stuff that he's reaping. This is all the stuff that he put out over the years. Guys, listen, Lord only knows if he didn't have his hand in Biggie and Pox, right? Two talented individuals, amongst other individuals that he's probably, and careers and individuals that he's destroyed over the years. So, I mean, you eventually reap what you sow, whether it takes 1 year, 2 years. And hear what? It might not just be you. It's your family, it's your kids. So fine, it doesn't catch you. Then it's your mother, maybe it's your father, maybe it's your child, maybe it's your grandchild. Maybe you live
yeah,
long enough to see it happen to your, but eventually it always balances out.
but
One
you're
way,
supposed
it comes back, right? So this is why I
to.
said live right, man. Live right, talk to people properly, do the right thing. You know what I mean? You don't have to love everybody. With that being said, always respect, man. No, because I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say, I'm out here. I love. No, no, no. No. It ain't even
Yeah,
like that. But it's got to be respect.
it's definitely a respect thing, right? But
Mhm.
one, you got to have respect for yourself, right? You have to have respect for yourself. All that glitters is not gold, right? So you have to keep your head on, and keep your eyes open. Keep your eyes open. Yeah, Diddy's going down. Diddy done. Diddy done.
Well, 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 you know, as a little nursery rhyme that we used to sing as kids, London Bridge is falling down. Well, definitely a bridge fell down this week, and that was that shit in Maryland. That was
Yeah,
some wild shit. Watching that bridge, it almost looked like dominoes. It hit one section, and the whole thing was in.
yeah, it kind of,
Everything just fell.
yeah, that's crazy. And the thing is that there's so many on top of the tragedy and you know losing the lives and you know prayers to the families, condolences and prayers to the families of and loved ones of the people who lost their lives. Um, I don't want to sound, it's just imagine that was at 1 in the afternoon as opposed to 1 in the morning. You know what I mean? That is just crazy how that happened. They didn't really have a lot of time to respond to that.
Well, you know that the boat did send the Mayday out, so that's why there was no cars on.
But
But
it
my
was,
question is, how did it not get to the workers? Right? Don't the workers have radios and stuff like that, or was it just because they radioed to tell people that, hey,
Or like, let's
We're
say
gonna
that
slam into the speech.
let's say they're elevated and they need time to get down. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay, that's
Not
what it was.
vehicles where they could just drive off the thing. Let me get out of here as soon as possible,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, I understand.
It's like being in a tower, in one of the towers, right? Just jump out the window or you're going up. You're going down. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the sad part. That's the sad part. But thankfully it wasn't midday because
Yeah. No, 100%.
because to get everybody off the bridge who would have been driving over, and then on top of that, now apparently like this is a major hub for like you know um transport.
Going around Maryland
Yeah,
instead of having to go through Baltimore. This was
yeah.
a bridge that you'd used to go around Baltimore, apparently. So now that's out of commission, and it's going to be out of commission for months. I know Biden has committed X amount of dollars to expedite getting this bridge put back together, but that being said, that's pretty
Something
crazy.
like that. You can't rush something like that,
No.
right?
Well, that's the reason why they're in a predicament now.
Should have rushed it. You know what I mean? You can't rush that shit. You better put that shit together properly. Don't play
Yeah.
with me because I wouldn't want to use that. Like, imagine, like, look at the condition of the garden. If they were to say that they were going to tear that whole thing down and they put it back together in like 2 months, I'm not driving on that. I would not drive on that. Mm-mm. Especially nowadays when people don't put in as much effort as they used to. Workers don't train,
Facts.
they don't work like they used to. They don't give a shit. People get into jobs simply for the money or the benefits or the pension or whatever. They really don't give a shit about the job. Nobody does it for the passion anymore like they used to be. Back in the day, people got into trades that they were actually interested in and they were passionate about, and they gave it their all. And you could trust the pilots and the conductors on the train. You could trust these people. Nowadays, pilots are
Well, it's
on the
just
job, doing drugs on the job, all kinds of nonsense, and
I
there's
think it's just
hundreds of
oh
people's
sorry.
lives in their hands. You know,
I find nowadays the pride of what you do is not there. I see it in every workplace. I see it at my workplace. I see it everywhere you go. People don't take pride in what, to be honest, they don't even take pride in themselves. I see half the people coming into work in pajamas. And people, I don't want anybody jumping on me and wanting to beat my ass. But the reality is, a lot of times the way how you dress correlates to how you work at work. If you are dressed in your lazy clothes, generally, a lot of times people are kind of more relaxed. They kind of do this. I'm not saying you got to get dressed up, but at least take your bedclothes off to come to work. That's all I'm saying, right? And I mean, they don't take pride in themselves. So what makes people think they're going to take pride in their work if they don't take pride in themselves?
excuse me. And what people don't realize is when you step out of your home, people actually do judge you based on how you are dressed. The kind of treatment that you get when you go out, you get different treatment when you're dressed differently, right? I've read books about this, right? Teaching you how to dress like just like you said, how you used to tell me about like the red tie and the blue tie thing, right?
Yes.
Everything is seen different. Like if you're going to court and you want to look innocent, wear white, wear light colors. Don't be going in there in all black and shit. You know what I mean? Like they
Hmm.
attention to those kind of things. Interviewers pay it. Well, back in the day, I don't know about now because again, people don't give a shit anymore, right?
Nope.
So back in the day, like I remember when I used to work at a certain place, people used to come in for interviews and stuff, and we be judging them based on their socks. You're wearing sports socks with dress pants and dress shoes. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
and recruiters would be talking about this, and they would use like these would be reasons not to because deportment is important, right? So it makes a difference.
100%. Oh, I remember I had my nice red tie. That was my interview red tie. Anytime I was going on an interview, I always wear a red tie. And the red tie was supposed to signify confidence, strength, and power. If you watch Donald Trump, he always has a red tie on. Once in a while, when he's on the campaign trail, he may wear a blue tie. But if he's on the warpath, watch him. He always has a full red tie. There's no designs. It's a straight red tie with a white shirt, and then you see him going ham on whatever he's gonna go on. But he's from the old school. when they used to. There was a sig, like you said. There was not judged by your tie, but it kind of sent a message as to what you were coming there to do today. You are confident you're going to do this today. But again, things have changed over the years,
Yeah,
and things are viewed a lot different now than it was in the past.
it's funny because a friend of mine had a family court, and the baby daddy wore a red tie to court. I'm like, oh shit, he did, right? And he's trying to bully the whole situation. So I'm like, that wasn't a good look. Hopefully, the judge doesn't pick up on that. Because if I'm the judge, you're fucked, buddy. You're fucked. But yeah, I remember you used to tell me that before, and it was you mentioned Donald Trump, but there was this was a long time ago. I can't remember who was it. Was it Bush? No, who was in power back then? I don't even remember. You used to tell
I
me
think
like,
it was Obama. I think it was Obama. It
watch.
wasn't. I think it was Obama.
Mm-hmm. You'd be
I
like,
think it was Obama.
it could have been
And I
Bush.
was pointing out. I think I was pointing out the fact that he
And
was wearing a red tie, and I was like, "Yeah, today means business. Like you see him wearing a red tie, that means he ain't coming in there to smile and chat. He's coming in there on a warpath to be like, here's how it's gonna be. I'm commander in chief. I'm gonna tell you what it is,
yep,
right? And that's what the red tie used to signify, right?
makes sense. Makes sense. So
Sometimes. Yep.
you were telling me something about Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yes, Eddie, good old Eddie Murphy. I was generally talking about comedians, but I had to go back to one of my favorite movies. I don't care if anybody liked it or didn't like it. Harlem Nights was one of those movies that I always thought was a great movie in terms of laughter. You had all these comedians from all different generations, all walks of life, all in one movie, and it was great. It took place in, it was filmed in the 80s. However, it was supposed to represent the hustle and bustle of the 20s before the prohibition. Long story short, turns out Eddie Murphy hated the movie. And I was like, damn, one of my favorite movies, Eddie Murphy hates.
I love that movie. I love that movie. I love the costumes. That's one of my favorite things in the movie. The costumes, right? The things that they wore, the way that they dressed, the style that they had. And I love the venue. Sugar Ray's.
Sugar Ray's.
Sugar Ray's, like just the style and the class and I love that era. I love that era. But
Tailored suits,
yeah,
tailored suits. Um, you know
suits.
what? I will say that era, aside from being more dynamic in terms of other aspects of life, these people used to dress back in the days,
And
right?
that's
People used to dress, and
they
they
care.
goes back. They took pride in themselves back in the days,
Yes,
right? It's
yes.
they took a lot of pride in what they did. Like you had the people shining shoes, and I mean you couldn't go any place with a scuffed up shoes and all that type of stuff. I'm not saying I want to bring everything back, but the key thing is I wanted to bring back pride in terms of that. But yeah, no, Harlem Nights was one of those movies where I look back at. I mean, there's some classic lines that came out of there, like Della Reese saying, I've got a girl whose coochie is so fast that if you threw it up in the air, it'd turn into sunshine. And then you see Red Fox looking up in the sky going, yeah, I can see that. And you know what? In that movie, Red Fox was supposed to be blind, right? Couldn't see for anything. So it was funny that he was saying, yeah, I can see that.
that that is it. You gonna have to learn to respect me. The part of the movie.
Hey, you know that's Buster Rhyme copied that for Pascal Cavassier. So Buster Rhyme copies that part of the movie. If anybody ever watches Buster Rhyme's video, Pascal Cavassier, he got it from Harlem Nights. Totally got that scene. The whole video, that scene was from Harlem Nights. Classic movie. It's just,
What do you mean he
I don't
doesn't
know.
like
It's weird.
it? He doesn't Eddie Murphy
So
doesn't like that
it
movie?
was his first directorial debut, and he had all the free reign to do everything with the movie. It was more clashing of personalities. I think what he ultimately wanted to say was because he's a black man trying to do all this, trying to get everybody paid, he said he found it difficult, right? And he said, literally, he said he would not do it again. And I
Well,
think that was part of the reason why he said he did
did
not
he
like.
say did he say did he get into like what was difficult? Like what was the problem? Like, was it attitude?
Stop cast the cast
People
dealing
being
with the
entitled?
cast.
And
Not so much
like,
people being entitled. It's just dealing with the cast and the different personalities. So generally, when he's on a movie set, he doesn't have to deal with all that. When
right.
you're commander in chief, director, and actor, and you got a bunch of personalities, you have Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Charlie Murphy was in that movie, Arsenio Hall. I mean, you had a bunch of comedians, bunch
You
of
knew what?
guys with a lot of attitude, all in one set,
Yeah.
right?
Well, Charlie was his brother and Arsenio was his best friend, so we already knew how to deal with those, right?
Well, it's the Red Fox and the Richard Pryors.
I could see the ones older than him being a problem because you're trying to direct people from a generation before you, and you know how those you know how those people get down. You can't talk to them, right? Even if you know that even if they, especially if they know that you're making more sense than them, you cannot talk to that generation. You know what I mean? Before you. That's always how it was, especially in our community. You cannot, like, they're not trying to hear anybody younger than them. They will always know better because they've been here longer. They don't think they can learn anything from the younger generation. The majority of them. You have your odd ones that like that are hip to the game and know what's up. But for the most part, the generations before us, they're not trying to hear anything that we're saying because they already know and we can't teach them nothing. We think we
And
know.
if you know anything about Richard Pryor, outside of just being an older head, he was heavy on drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that was always a big issue with him as well too. So I mean, I'm not saying that was the issue on set, but I know he was an avid user of cocaine at any given time throughout his career, right? If you ever get a chance, watch the movie JoJo. It's loosely based off of his life, where he freebases and catches himself on fire while he's trying to cook his drugs, right? Catches himself on fire, starts running down his friggin' apartment and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But anyways,
drugs are, yeah. I don't do drugs, so and I just don't. I can't deal with people who have drug problems. Not uh, not my bag of tea.
can't deal with people that have drug problems. What do you mean by that?
I personally cannot have that in my circle. Like it doesn't work for me. Like problems, I mean, like I just why why would I want to deal with that?
But what if you have a friend that's addicted? You're gonna cut them off because they're addicted?
No, not necessarily cut them off, but I'm not going to expose myself to it. I'm not going to be
So you
there.
wouldn't try to get them help?
Sit there while you're ripping lines on the friggin'. If I don't,
No, no, no. I don't. Come on, that's a bit excessive. I don't expect you to. I wouldn't do that. But if you have an individual, and I mean, I have had a scenario with an individual that was abusing certain substances, opioids, as we like to use that term, had an individual that was abusing opioids, and then it gets to a point where you can't help him anymore because he didn't want to be helped, and that's the tough part. But you do try, is all I'm still ultimately saying. But they have to want to get help as well too, right?
know, it's more like when I usually, if I find out that, or you let me know, like I'll tell you how I feel about it because I strongly disagree with it, right? If you do, it won't even get to a point where you know you have a problem and we're close, unless I just didn't know. You know what I mean? Once you tell me that, once you introduce me to that, I separate myself from that. I want no part of that. So I'm not going to be around when you're like, you know what I mean? And if I'm the type of person, I get involved. You know, I get involved with my friends. You always tell me I get too involved with my friends, right? So I'm the type of person that if you're in a toxic, volatile situation, whether it be a relationship, I will talk to you and talk to you and talk to you. And when it gets to a point where it's overwhelming me emotionally because I care more about you getting out than you do, and I care more about you getting help than you do, and you're not fucking doing anything, and it's affecting me mentally and emotionally, I'm getting the fuck out of there. I'm gonna distance myself from you. I'll love you from a distance. You know what I mean? I'll pray for you, that kind of shit, but I'm not fucking holding your hand. I'm not holding your hand because I done went through, I tried, right? So I can't. I've been through that too many times with friends and I just don't have the patience for that shit.
And for the record, I have seen you do it, and I think you're a little bit slow. in terms of not doing it faster because I get annoyed with you sometimes. I'm like,
Exactly.
yo, cut it.
Like
I'm
I,
like, yo, cut it. I'll be like, yo, dash the person where they're wasting time. They're just making up, doing all kind of nonsense. I'm like, yo, dash them where they're giving you more headaches more than
can't
anything
ever say
else.
I walk away when I cut. You can't ever say that I didn't give you a chance. You know what I mean? You can't ever say that I was
I
not.
will say, I
You
agree.
you can't fucking well say that. If you do, then I'm not even gonna fight you on that because I know what it is. God knows what it is, right? Yeah. Mm-mm. Sorry, I got passionate because I've been through it so many times. Been through it so many times. I lose my shit. Right?
Yeah, I've gone on your roller coaster ride with you a couple of times, and we end up arguing over that shit because I'm sitting there saying, "Listen, shut the heck up! I don't want to hear this shit." And I'll be like, "Yo, that person, you need to just give them some walking space. Give them a cane and friggin' send them on their way. They can use that as their crutch. Don't keep using you as their crutch. Send them on their damn way, right? I
You
know your heart's nice
I'm
and it's in the right
loyal.
place,
I'm
but
loyal.
sometimes you need to just let the person go. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but you want me to cut like the first, and but we this is how the conversation started. If you have friends with a drug problem, you just cut them off. You already know that's not what it is, right? So I
We
just
we
I
weren't we weren't there yet, right? We got there now.
get it out of me. You had to get it out of me.
Well, we got there now, right? So we here now. So I got it out of you. So yeah.
Yeah, like you got a guy that's like beating you up every second Wednesday and shit like that, and you're saying, and I'm like, bitch, get the fuck out of there, and you're staying in. Oh my hand, if it dick's so good, I don't give a fuck. Get the hell out of there, right? Don't be calling me when you have to go to the ER and shit like that. I don't care now. You know what I mean? I can't deal with that because you're gonna go back. So
Big time. That's one of the things that I've always told myself, and I think you've heard me preach this. I do not get involved in men and women affairs. So if a friend tells me that male or female, that somebody's abusing them, I will support you verbally. And what I mean by support is I'll listen. If it's getting to the point where I feel either it's becoming criminal or other aspects, to I would advise you to leave. I don't bash the other individual because here's the problem or here's the situation that happens, and it's relationships.
yeah,
When you're in bed at night, I am not on your mind when you're sitting there with that individual that you just confessed or told, male or female. I'm far from the equation. And you guys are hatching it out and doing your pillow talk. That doesn't matter anymore. And I don't want to be that guy that said, hey, you know what? You should have got rid of this person. I will help you. And if you ask my advice, I give you my advice 150%. But I will never force anybody or insinuate anything to force anybody into a situation. My thing is what I always ask you, what do you think you should do? If I was in your scenario, what would you tell me to do? And that's kind of how I always put the ball in other people's court so that they can kind of think of it outside the box. So if I'm getting beat up, what should I be doing? Typically, you should be leaving that scenario. Do people always do that? They have a variety of different reasons why they stay. Don't care why you stay. At the end of the day, that's up to you, right?
well, you know me, and if you ask me my opinion, you're gonna get the real fucking deal. I ain't sugarcoating shit for anybody over the age of 16. So if you ask me, what should you do? Get the fuck out. That's what it's gonna be. Get the fuck out. Find a way, quick, fast. Get out. You know what I mean? Whether it be physical abuse, emotional abuse, especially if I've been a party to it and I've actually seen it for myself, I'm not going to encourage you to do anything else but get the hell out. So don't ask me. Don't ask me for my opinion if you don't really want it, because you're going to get the real, right? I'm not going to tolerate that shit. I wouldn't tolerate that shit for myself, right? You want to put your hands on me? I'm willing to go to jail behind that shit. Okay, so you better think twice about that. I'm not calling the cops for you. I'm going to jail, so you better think twice about that shit. I don't play that. So yeah, no. I just I'm not going to encourage you to do something that I personally wouldn't tolerate. So if I'm not going to offer my opinion to you, but if you ask me for it, you're getting the real real. It's just going to be, I might not want to hear what you have to say after a while because it's just, it's to me, you like that shit. After a while, you like that shit, especially when I see you have it out or somebody provides it out for you and you're not taking it, or you take it and you go back, you have a problem. You have a problem.
I wouldn't say so much they like it. They have a need to be with that particular individual, which you and I will not understand, right? And there's a lot of people that have a need for particular individuals in their lives. And I sit there shaking my head and I feel like, you know what, even if you ran against a wall with your eyes closed head first, you'd probably make more mileage doing that than getting through to these people because they're so lost, right? And that's the one thing. When someone's in their own space and telling themselves what they want without looking at the bigger picture, you cannot deter them or tell them what's up and what's down, which is unfortunate.
And a lot of people are actually self-aware too. A lot of people don't realize how they contribute to certain situations as well, right? There are people who are toxic, very, very toxic, and will blame it on other people. They do things to put themselves in situations that could create drama if people aren't level-headed, right? If you don't have a level-headed individual that you're dealing with and you do some shit, you do some stupid shit, that person's gonna react emotionally, right? And then you've got drama going on, especially if people don't respect themselves, right? They're just going to react in the moment instead of walking away, right? I prefer to be passive aggressive, right? My thing's passive aggressive, and I just like, and I can just leave shit alone. But if you poke the bear and you keep poking the bear and you keep poking the bear, I like to leave. Like I have had people that I've cut off and I haven't talked to them for like 20 years. I still keep their secrets. You know what I mean? But if you keep poking me and poking me and poking me, and now you're accusing me and putting your shit out there, and I haven't even done that, you pissed off all these other people in your life, but you want to come back at me. You don't, and you never took the time to realize how smart I am, that I would never put myself in a certain situation, never make myself look a certain way, right? But if you want me to go there, don't make me get petty, because I'm good at it and I won't stop until I'm done. So never push me to that point. When you see me leaving you alone, when I walk away and I could do the INFJ door slam where we act like you're dead to me and I don't give a fuck, don't, just leave me alone. Leave me alone. Because I do not respond well to bullying, badgering, and or harassment, right? And if the shit continues, I will try to shut it down any way I can, right? And if you bring me to the point, I will publicly fucking humiliate you, and I have receipts. I will never do it without receipts. People need to leave me the fuck alone. And that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Strong opinions.
I don't take abuse from anybody. Anybody. Right? I've been through way too much in life. I am a very strong woman. I'm not fucking stupid. So I try my best to lead by example when it comes to, especially when it comes to like my loved ones and stuff like that. I try to lead by example. So if they come to me for my opinion, you're gonna get the real. Because I'm not gonna, if I care about you, if I love you, I'm not gonna send you out there to look fucking stupid, right? It's just like when you see a bunch of girls and the one friend looks horrible, right? You know that those other friends don't care about
her. 100%.
They don't care about her. When they let her walk out of the bathroom with the toilet paper stuck on her shoe, you came out as a group because, you know, I'm always checking to make sure everything's good. Your freaking dress is stuck into your pantyhose and that kind of shit. And your friends, they see it and they're giggling. Those aren't your friends. Those aren't your friends. So I'm not sugarcoating anything for anybody over the age of 16. You come to me, you're getting the real. And I don't hide from shit. I don't run from shit. I'll tell you what it is. And any decision I make, I stand firm on it. I stand on it.
Oof. Yeah. On another note, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I have my dog here and he just farted. Oof. And I'm trying to keep a straight face without, you know, this while you were talking, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this thing is just, my nose hairs are singeing from the way all this thing is going through my nostrils. And I'm trying my best to keep a straight face. And then I remember the conversation we had earlier in the week about relationship farting. And I sat there and I said, you know what? I remember being younger, and I'll call it out. My daughter's mother one time decided to let one rip while we were eating. I didn't find it cute. I didn't find it funny. I almost wanted to smack her I was like, what the hell are you doing? Now my food's gonna taste like shit. What is wrong with you?
I could see your reaction. I could totally see your reaction right now.
Eyes all buzzed out of my head. And I was looking at her. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you will be if you do that shit again. No pun intended.
Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, so as you know, I was single for a very long time until like a short period, over the last 8 or so years, 10, maybe, yeah, over the last 8 or so years, there was a short period where, anyways.
So you weren't getting it in all that time? No. You did say relationship, so you know what? I'll let it go. You did say relationship, so I ain't airing out your business. You're a young woman. You got your stuff. Whether it's the wiki or somebody actually putting their work in, I'm not judging. I'm just saying what it is. So it is what it is.
Toys. I don't have any toys. Don't need toys.
Listen, I didn't say you have to go. I was giving you a way out, and you have to go put yourself on blast. Anyways, continue on.
Anyways, yeah. So I've noticed that, in meeting people and talking to people, a lot of people think that farting is like a level of intimacy. And I'm like, what the fuck? I don't even fart in front of my parents. You know what I mean? If you find somebody that's cool with that, have at it. You guys can sit there and have a farting competition, go back and forth all day.
Light a match.
Make songs together, right. Start a campfire, whatever. You know what I mean? If that's what you're into, that's what you're into. However, when you meet a lady, and she's not into it, I don't give a shit what you believe, what you think about intimacy of farting, and she's not into it, she's not about that shit, don't be coming around me. It's one thing if, there'd be the odd time where it comes out, you can't control it. But don't be just letting it rip whenever the fuck you feel like, and especially if your shit smells foul, okay? If it smells funky, it smells like you need to wash out.
Hold on. Time out. Okay, it's shit. It's not supposed to smell good. It's like you ain't rolling around like your shit nose thing. Shit is shit. It's gonna smell. Anyway, sorry to cut you. I just have to say it ain't gonna smell good.
If I am in the presence of another human being and I need to pass gas, I will excuse myself, right? I'm either holding it and my belly's gonna grow and get hard as shit, whatever. Or I will excuse myself and let it go. Unless I'm outdoors. If I'm outdoors, I'm letting it go. Right? But I'm gonna ease it out. You're not gonna hear it. I'm gonna ease it out. Like I don't do farts. I poop. Okay? I don't do farts. I poop. Anyways. Yeah, I don't think that's cool. It should be like, to each his own. If your partner's into it, great. If they're not into it, don't fucking do it. It's disrespectful and disgusting. And it's a turn off. Don't be farting in front of me. Don't fart next to me. And then next thing you know, you want to fill me up and get it on because it's not happening. Because you done turned me off with a fucking fart. So don't do it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That yeah. On that note, my ear is finally clear. This shit stain or the shit scent is finally cleared up. I'm not here gagging.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's funny. On a last more serious note, we need to always understand that all of our decisions that we make in life, a lot of times it's going to affect other people. Please remember your decisions affect another human being sometimes. And that what you do, what you say, even how you feel about certain things, at the end of the day, the decisions that you take, some of the things that you say will affect somebody else. I'm only saying this.
Me?
No. This is not a shot at you.
I'm kidding.
No. You know when I'm throwing shots at you. You've been around me long enough to know when I'm deciding to throw my darts.
Not a shot, but more of like, a soft nudging type of thing.
No. This isn't even a soft nudge. I would have told you. And generally, if I'm going to correct you, I'm going to do it not while we're doing this. That's not my style. I might do something soft-hearted. I don't believe in correcting somebody in a platform where everybody's going to watch. Not like that. Unless it's something funny, then I'll correct you. But aside from that, if it's soft-hearted, that's one thing. But if it's serious, no. So this isn't directed at you. This is more directed at people that are in positions of power. You're a manager. You're a boss. I understand that certain times you can get annoyed or pissed off with certain things. at the end of the day, we're people, and we can't lose sight of the fact that we're all human beings at the end of the day, and your decisions will affect other people, right? Mental health is a big thing, so always be cognitive of certain things that you do in your actions. So that's just my 2 cents for that.
Yes, and you're in management, so you know what you're talking about. You're speaking from a place of experience, so that's I appreciate that. That's a good message to send out because it is important. It is important. So, with that being said, thank you for joining us for Shits and Giggles. Everybody be safe. Take care of yourself. Take care of your loved ones. Reach out. Reach out.
Kiss a loved one, call them, talk to them if you haven't seen them in a while. Deuce.
Bye.